That's the reason this case is active today, and that's why we're in front of you today, is because technology changed and we were able to do something with it.
DNA evidence leads to the arrest of a man accused of killing a college student nearly 40 years ago.
The Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Department arrested 67-year-old Bud Christensen. They believe he murdered Feroza Daganpour back in August of 1983. She was a foreign exchange student from Iran and was about to graduate from UNO.
Her body was found under a bridge in Crescent, north of Council Bluffs, her throat severely cut. Until now, there were no arrests for her murder. KETV News Watch 7's Waverly Monroe is live with what cracked this cold case. Waverly.
Well, David and Alexandra, Bud Christensen is in the Pottawatomie County Jail. It's just about 4 miles from where investigators believe he dumped the body of an Omaha college student decades ago. A DNA breakthrough could finally bring justice 40 years since the murder of Feroza Daganpour in Pottawatomie County. She was reported missing from the University of Nebraska-Omaha on August 14, 1983. Later that day, her body was found by this bridge in Crescent.
Over the next several months, several agencies worked together to try to find Feroza's killer.
Sergeant Jim Doty with the Sheriff's Office says the case went cold and stayed that way for decades until last fall when a friend of Daganpour called in a tip, which led investigators back to the case file.
While reviewing the case reports, we did find evidence that had been collected at the scene that could possibly benefit from DNA analysis. We sent several of these items to the laboratory, the Iowa DCI laboratory, for DNA testing.
While the tip itself didn't pan out, the effort did. Doty says a match in the DNA CODIS system led them to 67-year-old Bud Christensen in Omaha. He's since been extradited to Pottawatomie County and charged with first-degree murder.
Those results allowed us more insight and eventually answers regarding this homicide.
Crime scene technician Hadley Mikovic says she can't even begin to explain advancements in technology that led investigators to Christensen.
Things that a crime lab is able to do now, I would always encourage law enforcement officers to work with their state and local crime labs to kind of review their evidence. Let Feroza's case be an example that it is never too late to seek answers.
Finding justice for Daganpour was always Doty's goal, and he finally got to share that with her brother, who lives in London.
He was shocked. He couldn't quite process it yet, but to be able to talk to him for an hour and learn more about her and who she was as a person is what makes all the hard work worth it.
Well, Pottawatomie County Attorney Matt Wilbur now wants a conviction that will put an end to this case. He's asking anyone with information or who has talked to Christensen in the last 38 years to call Crime Stoppers. That number, it's on your screen, is 712-328-STOP. Reporting live, Waverly Monroe, KETV News Watch 7.
Waverly, thanks. KETV Investigates is looking into Bud Christensen's criminal history here in Douglas County. In 1972, he was convicted of sexually assaulting a minor. He went to prison for that until May of 1983. Then in 2013, records show he pleaded guilty to attempted sex assault and false imprisonment. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison on each of those counts.